Hey everybody, I'm Oakley at Oakley Does Everything, and today we're going to be doing some shop updates where we put up some curtains to stop the dust from going everywhere. Stay tuned.
Now, if you're anything like me, you have a multi-purpose shop, meaning you do everything in the same space. And the problem I keep running into is whenever I want to use it for woodworking projects, I get dust all over my entire basement. And so I want to set up some kind of curtain that I can wrap around my workspace so that it prevents any dust, wood dust of any kind from getting all over my space. So the first thing I'm going to do is take extensive measurements of the space that I'm going to be putting the curtain up around, and I'm going to be using black piping that you can get at your hardware store. And like I said, you need to take extensive measurements, making sure that you get the correct lengths that you need for the entirety of it. In this clip here, you can see my brother-in-law and I basically doing a pre-fitting test where we make sure that everything comes together, get a good idea of making sure that everything is going to fit up the way we hope it does. And so we're just kind of putting all of our pieces together, making our way all the way around, and then here we're just kind of setting it up in place, tying it up to the rafters so that it just kind of dangles there before we fix it in its permanent position. So again, this is just kind of test fitting all of our spots. So the setup for this curtain is going to be a U shape, so we're going to have three walls. The fourth wall is just going to be the wall of the basement, since that doesn't really have any issues with getting the dust and dirt everywhere. We're not going to put a curtain there, so it's going to be on the sides and the front, and that way it's going to keep it in. And now the pieces that we're using are a variety of different lengths of piping, as well as couplers to connect them, 90-degree elbows to do different angles like you can see right there, as well as the 3-point corner pieces. I don't really know what they're called, but they do have um, three corners in, one to go to the wall, and a 90-degree feature in like that top right corner there, what you can see us looking at there. And so just making sure that you calculate all of them correctly to have the right amount of pieces. I actually bought extras of everything and returned the ones that I don't, just to make sure I have what I need rather than not having what I needed when I came to doing the job itself. Now, after we got everything fitted, make sure we know that it looks good and lined up the way we want it. Now we're going to go ahead and take our plates and do our pilot holes. Make sure that you drill large enough holes in them, otherwise it's going to be really hard to put your screws in. Like I did, I actually had to go back and drill my pilot holes a little bit larger just to make sure it was easy enough to get in. At this point in the video, I am securing everything down and tightening to its final tension just to make sure that we're good to go, because we did all the measurements and everything was going really well. So we're just fastening everything in place, putting our screws in. There was only one plate that I actually put all four screws in, just because the angles of the holes in the pipes and the floorboards around it, I wasn't able to have the proper angle to get all four of them in. But even just with two allowed me a lot of strength to do what I need, and especially considering we're not hanging very heavy things off of this, just some tarps. Like you can see here, just doing a little strength test, and it can hold me up very easily. Now, I know I wanted the idea to be some kind of shower curtain-like effect where I had, covering all the way around. And it was my father-in-law who suggested tarps. I did want something a bit more heavy-duty than shower curtains, just to make sure it held up over time. Now with these tarps, they only had eyelets every 36 inches, and that wasn't going to be near enough. But luckily for me, I do have a set of eyelet punches, so that way I was able to put up more in between the eyelets that it came with, and as you can see, it just holds it a lot closer to the piping and prevents gaps on the top of the tarp, so that way dust doesn't go over and continue to go into the space that we want to keep it from. And here you can see it. We have our completed tarp set up. closing everything in pretty well. There are some spots where it doesn't completely seal it up and some spots where I could have added more eyelets to close the gaps, but overall it looks really good. I used mostly 8-foot tarps because from the ceiling to the floorboards was 7 feet. And as you can see there, there's a little bit of a gap, but it's not something I was really able to overcome, but I'm pretty pleased with how it all turned out.
Alright, that is going to wrap it up for this video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I very much appreciate it. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. It's right there in the middle of your screen. And also, if you're interested in more workshop renovation videos, I have videos queued up for you right here. Other than that, have a great day.